Justice is supposed to be neutral, an equal system. And when you see that in Europe, 21st century Europe, you have unequal access of women to justice. You don't believe it's possible.
Aujourd'hui, le thème de la conférence, l'égalité dans l'accès à la justice, c'est évidemment pour toute démocratie, pour tout état de droit, une question de base. Mais c'est plus facile à dire qu'à faire, et c'est pour ça qu'il y a toujours du travail à réaliser, des échanges à mener pour garantir que ce soit non seulement quelque chose qui se fasse dans la théorie, cette égalité dans l'accès à la justice, mais qu'on soit aussi en mesure de montrer comment cela se passe dans la réalité.
But it's a whole jigsaw. One has to change attitudes, one has to change implementation of the law, and above all, stereotypes need to be changed.
Alors les obstacles, évidemment, sont socio-économiques. Et je ne parle pas de la justice pénale, parce qu'on le sait depuis des décennies, qu'en matière de justice pénale, les femmes ont beaucoup plus de difficultés de faire valoir les abus dont elles sont victimes, les violences dont elles sont victimes, mais aussi la justice civile. La question de la preuve, par exemple. Parce qu'une femme amène la preuve, il y a toujours un petit stéréotype quand même de dire est-ce que c'est bien crédible, est-ce qu'elle n'exagère pas, est-ce qu'elle n'est pas émotionnelle.
Training awareness raising is very important so that judges can be aware of the fact that stereotypes can influence their impartiality, so that they can be aware of what are the most common stereotypes, because at the end of the day they tend to be the same stereotypes that are used in courts, and so that they can challenge them. And judges play a very important role in challenging stereotypes. There's a lot that they themselves can do.
These exercises produce a discussion within the group, and this discussion is supposed to be the part that produce the self-awareness where the sexism bias is. So people leave the workshop knowing where their patriarchal bias is. This has been very useful because sentences have turned over, and now judges are applying the conventions. We are really happy about that.
We cover all Eastern Europe, but also it's good that we took some lawyers from Spain, for example, when there is legislation on violence against women. And there is interest from Asia and Africa and other regions when we launch the call for applications. So maybe this year we will have the first diploma for a lawyer from Zimbabwe.
The Istanbul Convention has been referred to as the gold standard. Why is it the gold standard? Because it links violence against women to gender inequality. So the sensitivity for gender inequality is an essential step to start the whole process.
It was a topic that became important for society, and a minister who wanted to create an instrument to do something about it. And those two just clicked together, and we had the law. Very often in the past we had to tell victims that we couldn't do anything because we had no legal framework.
According to our statistics, we found out that there is a big gap between men's ownership of a land and women's ownership of the land. Our legislation recognizes gender equality in this regard, but in practice it's not so. We organize mobile teams which were able to reach women in countrysides and to inform them about their rights.
After a victim makes her or his complaint for domestic violence, she or he can ask for this protection measure. This is an empowerment tool to a woman that is not dependent of the process are going. So she had the power to propose herself to a protection measure.
Women's experience of justice is masked by the neutrality, the apparent neutrality of laws and practices. But then when we look at the lived experience of women, we see that actually applying those laws and practices to women and men, we get different results.
Toutes les organisations non gouvernementales, tous les mécanismes institutionnels savent qu'il y a un problème, mais je pense que si on veut amener nos autorités à bouger dans ce domaine-là, il faut vraiment qu'on leur montre noir sur blanc deux choses. Un, qu'il y a un réel problème, que les statistiques le prouvent, et puis deux, je crois que ça coûte. Et ça, c'est un point extrêmement important dont il faut avoir conscience. L'inégalité coûte beaucoup. Ne rien faire, ça coûte de l'argent.
We've been able to gather solid and reliable information with regard to such barriers that prevent women from accessing justice, but it has also been very interesting in the sense of finding remedies, because there are a lot of good experiences out there and initiatives, and this event has enabled the participants from the member states to exchange such good experiences and get inspiration for further work in this area.
Now we understand about stereotypes of the gender policy, of the gender questions in the judiciary activities.
Je vais commencer par faire un rapport à Monsieur le ministre de la Justice en proposant peut-être en proposant une coopération avec le Conseil de l'Europe en matière de l'accès à la justice et surtout en matière de l'aide juridictionnelle, y compris l'aide juridique et judiciaire pour l'accès des femmes à la justice.
To spread this good practice that was discussed today, it would be a good first step. When you talk about databases, protection, training and so on, you learn so much with other countries' experiences that the Council of Europe could has the role to systematize and to spread these orientations all over the countries with its power voice, of course.